2022 meeting. We'll get it started. Roll call. All members of council are present. I'll ask everyone to please stand for the territorial land acknowledgement statement and moment of reflection, as well as the national anthem. Conseiller Doré.
I think this is the first time we do this one. So the territorial land acknowledgement statement is: we acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Anishinaabe and the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee, Huron-Wendat, and Kanien'kehá:ka peoples. We acknowledge our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within.
Merci. Attendu que le Canada est fondé sur des principes qui reconnaissent la suprématie de Dieu et la primauté du droit, prenons un moment de réflexion personnelle. Merci beaucoup. Item 4, addition, deletions, or amendments. I have one item under 18A for myself in regards to 2 sponsorship requests. Okay.
Dans les correspondances, les plans d'action.
Non, pas ici. So,
Une donation.
tu parles pour leadership féminin?
Non.
No? Okay, so we'll do 18B, and it'll be under Conseil et Pétitions. There'll be another request, sponsorship request. Okay. Anyone else? No? Announcements. Okay. So then we go to item 5, motion to approve the agenda as amended. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Tomasky, seconded by Conseiller Besson. All those in favor? Approved. Thank you. Item 6, déclaration d'intérêt pécuniaire. Oui, conseillère associée.
Merci, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, in this, I know the council meeting each for the third option.
Okay. Perfect. With that, we will move on to item 7, adoption of minutes. Order of council minutes of August 15, 2022. Motion to approve the following minutes as presented. Need a mover and seconder to put on the floor, please. Moved by Conseiller Lorrain, seconded by Councillor Tomasky. Questions or comments? Hearing, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Tous en faveur? Opposé? Carried. Thank you. Item 8, présentation, il n'y en a pas. 9, délégation, pétition, il n'y en a pas. Under item 10, consent items. Motion that all items listed under consent items be received as presented. We have A, the minutes of the Environmental Advisory Committee of June 29, 2022. Item B, minutes of the United Counties of Prescott-Russell for June 22nd, July 7th, and August 10th, 2022. C, Paylist of July 2022. And D, request for community grants September 2022. Need a mover and a seconder to put them on the floor. Moved by Councillor Chinoski, seconded by Councillor Brisson. Questions, comments on any of these? No, hearing none. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Merci. 11, reports from departments and council committees. Item A, removal of padlock control PB 2022, referred to number 16 bylaws. This is for 809, 811 Amber Street in Embrun. Pretty standard stuff. Any questions, comments, members of council? Hearing none. We will nothing back from the administration. We'll move on to the next item. Prochain item, c'est item B, demande de modification au règlement de zonage de rapport PV 61-2022, que le Conseil reçoive le rapport PV 61-2022, daté du 6 septembre 2022, et approuve la modification au règlement de zonage soumis par Mélanie Construction par Julien Panot afin de changer le zonage de zone résidentielle 1A avec aménagement différé R1 à H à zone résidentielle 1A R1A. Question, commentaire, membres du Conseil. Questions, comments, members of council? Hearing none, nothing to add from the administration. We'll move on to the next item. Item C, exemption from a draft plan of condominium approval report PD 62-2022. The council receives report PD 62-2022 dated September 6, 2022. And the council approved the application for an exemption from a draft plan of condominium approval made by Mélanie Construction Inc. for the above mentioned properties. Questions, comments, members of council? Conseiller Brisson?
Just a bit of clarification, because those apartments are already built.
That's correct. I spoke with Madame Tremblay today. Those buildings are already built. They're apartments,
Yeah.
but they're being changed into condominiums as opposed to apartments.
Oh.
So they have to go through this process. Ben, ça serait, the final authority is the UCPO.
OK. Fait que c'est juste parce que ça prend une autre zonée quand c'est comparé à partenaire qui font d'autres.
Ouais, c'est ça. C'est juste faut qu'ils font l'ajustement pour les papiers.
OK? Non, c'est juste ça. C'est pas bon, ça.
Parfait. S'il n'y a pas d'autres questions, on va aller au prochain item. Item D, indexing of development charges rates, report FS 22-2022. The council received report FS 22-2022 dated September 6, 2022, and adopt the proposed bylaw to amend Schedule C1 of the user fees and charges bylaw 2021-109 and approve an indexation of 7.2% for the development charges effective January 1st, 2023. Questions, comments, members of council? Conseiller Brisson?
Je dois comprendre qu'il doit y avoir eu des consultations avec les développeurs de la région pour leur opinion, tout ça, leur comment.
Je ne sais pas, M. Godin, s'il y a eu quand on a mis la politique, comment qu'on met ça en place. Oui, mais ça va être juste ça va être effectif le 1er janvier. C'est ça, M. Godin?
Merci, M. le maire. Bonsoir, chef du conseil. Donc, oui, c'est effectif le 1er janvier. Les consultations qui ont eu lieu avec la communauté de développement ont eu lieu pendant la préparation de l'étude comme telle. Alors, ça, c'est une clause de l'étude qui est adoptée en 2021. Mais c'est ça, ça va être effectif le 1er janvier. Puis, dès que c'est adopté, on va avoir une communication à la communauté de développement pour leur informer. Puis, ils vont avoir la chance aussi de poser leurs questions. Mais essentiellement, c'est pas nécessairement une consultation à ce point-ci pour faire avancer la décision, mais plus pour si on a besoin de plus d'informations.
C'est OK.
Merci. Councilor Laurent?
Just to remind me, is this increase in line with past increases in terms of the percentage?
Through Mr. Mayor, so it's a high increase. We've seen higher increases in inflation recently, obviously, so it's in line with what we're seeing elsewhere in indexation rates. But it is higher than it has been over the last 4 or 5 years.
Councilor Kanoski?
I think that the question is the process is the same, which is the rates because these districts are increased and we're just following the exact same process. What's a fair, transparent process as it's always been. It's just this is the new reality.
Any other questions, comments, members of council? Seeing hearing none, anything else to add, Mr. Baudet?
Non, c'est monsieur.
Parfait, merci. Item E, subvention et contribution communautaire. Le Conseil reçoit le rapport PR 13-2022 daté du 6 septembre 2022. Elle donne les recommandations du département pour les octrois municipaux de 2022 au groupe communautaire suivant. 1. Refuser un don ponctuel au club million de Russell au montant de 3 000 pour la RCMP Musical Ride qui aurait lieu le 10 septembre 2022. 2. Approuver un don ponctuel à la Fondation Terry Fox au montant de 150 pour la journée Terry Fox Run qui aurait lieu le 18 septembre 2022. Et 3. Approuver un don ponctuel à la Fondation Leadership Féminin Prescott-Russell au montant de 700 pour le premier symposium qui aurait lieu le 3 octobre 2022. Questions, commentaires, membres du Conseil? Yeah, you would declare the conflict.
Yeah, they can also, they can vote on it separately and step back. and
Yep.
vote.
So we'll remove, when we get to the resolution, we'll be able to remove that item separate and vote on it separately than the other two. Questions, comments on any of these? Pretty straightforward in the report. Madame Guitard, avec spécialisation.
If I can add, Mr. Mayor, thank you, members of council. There was a slight mathematical mistake. So if we do award that $3,000 to the municipal right, we will have $3,585 left and not $4,285.
Okay, so we'll have less than.
It's even less than that.
Okay, parfait. Conseiller Brisson?
One suggestion would be that I know that the projection right now was with the inscription, and I know it's a good activities to have in the region. So I would just suggest that if for a reason or another there is less
And there's less
participation and they arrive lower, that they might consider asking it back. Personally, I would be in favor of considering it, because since it's a community, I would be glad to help in that case.
Okay. So that's a message we can pass once the event is completed and we know what the results are. Based on the last time, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, they anticipated a certain amount and they actually doubled what they were expecting. So I'd be surprised, especially after COVID, everybody's looking for a reason to get out. But no, we can definitely pass that message along to them. Conseiller Laurent?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I'd second that. If there is a shortfall, that they come back to us.
We can discuss it
We can
again.
discuss it at that point. So please pass that.
Okay, parfait. D'autres questions, commentaires? If there's nothing else, we'll move on to the next item. So now it's item 12, reports from investigator and ombudsman. We have none. Item 13, notice of motions. We have none. Item 14, question period on the meeting of the day. So if anyone has any questions in regards to what's on the agenda, you're more than welcome to please come up to the lectern and state your name and address for the record, please. Si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez venir au lutrin avec votre nom et votre adresse et demander sur, des questions sur l'agenda comme tel. Seeing none, we'll make this quick. We'll move on to the next item, a resolution. Motion that council approve all recommendations listed on the agenda under item 11, reports from departments and council committees. So I need a mover and a seconder to put on the floor, and then we'll have to remove one item. So moved by Councillor Kinoski, seconded by Conseiller Brisson. And so then we had an amendment to remove item E from Councillor Saucier. Do we have a seconder to remove that? So Conseiller Laurent. So we'll vote on the amendment to remove that item. So all those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. So we're voting on everything except for E. So I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. So we'll now put item E on the table. So I need a mover and seconder to put on the table. Moved by Councillor Kinoski, seconded by Conseiller Brisson. It is now on the table. So now we will have a motion to separate item 2 out of the motion. Madame Camelet-Lafont. So moved by Councillor Kinoski, seconded by Conseiller Brisson. All those in favor to remove item 2? So we're just removing item 2, then we'll vote on 1 and 3, then we'll bring back 2 to vote. So, yeah.
Okay, I thought the request was to remove it from the consent item, but I didn't realize it was to separate each one.
She wants to vote on the 1 and
Okay.
3, if I understood properly. Yeah, so she'll, yeah. So, okay.
Is able to vote on 1 and 3.
Okay.
Right. So we're okay, everybody's okay removing item 2? Okay, item 2 is now removed. So now we will vote as a group on item 1 and 3. So all those in favor? All those opposed?
Move for a second. Item 3.
Great. So 1 and 3 is now passed. So now we will do item 2 separately, is the one that Councillor Associé declared a conflict of interest on. So I need a mover and a seconder to put that on the floor. Moved by Councillor Larin, seconded by Councillor Janoski. Questions on number 2? Hearing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. So, resolutions are all passed. Item 16, bylaws. Motion that council approve bylaws 2022-091 to 2022-093 inclusively for first, second, and third reading as listed on the agenda. Need a mover and a seconder to put on the table, please. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Councillor Janoski. Call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. 16 is now passed. 17, new business reports. We have none. Item 18, other business presented by council members. Item 18A was myself. I've been approached by 2 different organizations that are holding events in the next couple of months. We have the King Club of Russell, who is holding a ABBA tribute concert fundraiser, which they're raising funds for our future complex. They're asking if we want to sponsor a table of 8, which is $1,500. And then we have the local Embrun church group that is doing what's called a souper poisson on November 5th. And they're asking if we want to sponsor a table there. That's $480. So this isn't coming through the grants request. My suggestion is that we have money in our discretionary budgets, each of all of us, if we would just want to split the cost between the 5 of us for this. I see head shaking. Everybody seems okay with that. So I'll make arrangements with Mr. Godin on how to move that forward. Okay.
Yes, and the info.
Yeah. Once I have all the information, I'll send it. There's a few events going on that we might miss. Might be at one event or the other, but I'll definitely send all the information. And then item B, Conseiller Brisson, you had another item as well?
Yeah, it was on our, it was on our mailing list.
Correspondance?
Correspondance, excuse. C'était en 2 fois. Là. C'est le Centre Nova qui faisait une demande pour leur 2e édition d'une revue pour les adolescentes de Prescott-Russell.
Okay.
Ça fait qu'ils demandaient si on pouvait faire une donation. D'après, je peux voir, c'est laisser à nous autres le montant.
Okay.
Puis que ça va dire comme quoi que si on fait une contribution, que notre nom va apparaître dans la publication et dans leur site.
Okay.
Fait que je crois que c'est une bonne raison,
oui.
Puis une bonne cause dedans, que ça serait de quoi important à considérer.
Okay. T'as-tu un montant que tu aimerais suggérer ou?
C'est vraiment le fun, je ne sais pas qui voulait, si c'était.
Il n'y avait
pas de montant, je dirais peut-être de $500.
500 on pourrait prendre 100 de chacun de nos. Je pense, Mr. Godin, I think you have the numbers as far as what we have left in our budgets. It's getting a little slim because budget this year we cut it in half, I believe, and we're losing a month and a half technically because of the election.
Oui, merci, M. Maire. That's right. So if I'm looking at the numbers, there's about just under $5,000 available total.
Okay, so we're looking at $1,500 to $2,500, so about half the funds that are still available. Would members of council be okay with that? The $250 for the Sound Nova? Okay, perfect. So we'll we'll let Mr. Gooding run with that as well. Parfait.
So, Mr. Mayor, is it 500 or
Moi,
250?
c'est ce que je voulais
500, t'as dit?
Moi, j'avais suggéré 500. Mais là, c'est octobre. Non, c'est 1250. Que j'ai tué en temps de 500.
Ah, did I say 250?
Yes.
I apologize, 500.
C'est pour ça que je...
Ouais, 2000 puis 500. 2500.
Okay.
C'est ça que je voulais dire.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody's okay with the $500 donation for that? Okay, perfect. With that, we'll move on. Public consultations hearings none. Item 20, announcements. Council Associate, I believe you had some announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to let everyone know there's a Heritage Festival in Russell on Saturday, September 17th from 10 to 3 at the Keith Boyd Museum. This year they're doing a kind of soapbox past politicians portray, and because it was election year, we thought that would be a fun idea. And there will be wagon rides throughout the village, scavenger hunt for families, while learning history of our local history. So that's on the 17th, and then on the Sunday, September 18th, from 9 to noon on the trail is the Terry Fox Run walk. And it starts in Embrun at the train depot, and in Russell at the trail parking lot beside Mother Teresa Catholic School. So you can walk, run, bike, rollerblade, wheelchair. And this year we are dedicating it to Tommy Johnson because of her being a survivor of skin cancer, and she'll be doing some education on that. So last year, even though it was not a normal year, just to let you know, we still raised $10,932.25. So in total, since we've been organizing it here, we've raised $335,403.26. So, and I want to thank the fire department and bylaw and everyone who said that they would be supporting the event this year, and the councillors that will be speaking.
Always happy to be here. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. With that, any other announcements, members of council? Non? 21, session à huis clos, il n'y a pas. 22, règlement de confirmation. Que le règlement 2022-094 étant un règlement pour confirmer les procédures du Conseil d'approbation du canton de Russell lors de sa séance ordinaire du 6 septembre 2022 soit déposé et répliqué, lu en première, deuxième et troisième lecture et adopté. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Stosky, seconded by Councillor Janoski. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Our next special public meeting of council will be held on Thursday, September 8, 2022, and the next regular public meeting of council will be held on Monday, September 19, 2022. We are adjourned at 6:23 p.m. Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, that was a quick one.